You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and today, man, we have a true honor talking to our special guest. We have the founder of NOMOS law firm. Her name is Lika, and she's going to be on I Am Refocused Radio talking about not just her backstory and her practice, but just pointers and tips for our audience to really understand her business and what she does today. I want to first and foremost welcome you this morning, Lika, to the show and say thank you for taking time talking to us today.
And thanks for having me.
So you have a business law firm, and you have different services that you can provide for people, whether it's business law, civil law, if it's immigration or dispute resolution. First and foremost, kind of talk to the audience a little bit. What inspired you to go into this career path?
Thanks for having me, first of all. So basically, I've started learning law in school, actually. Before I started to choose my career path, I discovered that law was something that was pretty close to me, pretty close to my character, pretty close to what I am as a human being, which is like ambitious, competitive. So actually started from there. I had a set of goals that I wanted to reach. And one of my goals was to be independent, with my profession, to find the freedom within my profession. So after that, I dedicated 7 years, actually like more than 7 years, to studying law. And I studied in State University and then did my bachelor's, did my master's degree. So I was really keen on business law. So I chose that path. And after that, I've been hired by some grand and middle and well-known law firms in Tbilisi. And after that, I decided to go solo and to form my own law firm in Tbilisi, Georgia. And here I am with NOMOS right now, and I'm practicing law, mainly business law, immigration, real estate, and also investment law and other fields of civil law.
And with NOMOS law firm, kind of give the audience a picture of how big your brand is, because it's not just where you are locally, but it's internationally.
Yes. So basically, our law firm is pretty local. We serve our clients, our foreign and international clients, and also local clients. We help them doing business in Georgia. We help them with immigration, residence permits, and business transactions, mainly focusing on the companies, on individuals with investments, and also real estate and litigation or arbitration. So we are basically pretty local, but we have international experiences. Like NOMOS, I launched my first law firm when I was 24. And then it was with my friends. And then I decided to go independent, to go solo with NOMOS and continue my practice with NOMOS law firm. So basically, NOMOS is only 1 year old, but my practice counts actually 7 and more years. In this practice. So
I was checking out your website, and it looks like you've been around for years, because the way everything's presented is very neat, very, very cut. I mean, it looks like you've been practicing for a long time. I know you say you started when you're in your early 20s. So when you had that kind of work ethic, was there anybody like in your university or household that inspired you to be such a productive hard worker?
Definitely in my household, because my father is a figure which I look up to, and he taught me to be independent. He taught me to be hardworking and goal-oriented. So I took these characteristics from him, and also like the main inspiration is kind of my character. Just who I am. I'm really hardworking, and I try to be really responsible, on time, and present. And I'm trying my best, because I think we all have the purpose in this life. And then as long as we discover it early, and I happen to discover my purpose really early in my life. So that's why years doesn't matter. I'm young and I'm vibrant. And then there's a ton of competition out there. So I think what matters is that you're getting the knowledge, you get your practice, you get your information, and use it in a good way. Use it to pursue your purpose in life.
And with building your brand, and like I said, I'm very impressed with the presentation that you have with your brand, even on your social media. It's like everything's uniform. What were some of the things you learned along the way as far as getting yourself out there and marketing your services to potential clients?
Definitely, I learned how to run a business, because me being a lawyer is very different from me being a businesswoman. It's totally different areas, and you have to be excellent in both. I think you have to be really well presented in both for your business to succeed. So I definitely learned how to run a business. My first independent steps was at the age of 24. So now I'm 27. So in these 3 years, I've learned how to actually run a successful business, because running a business is just a term, and then running a successful business is something very, very different. So I actually I'm still learning, and I'm still in the middle of developing, but I think I've done pretty good job with that, definitely.
You listen to Refocus Radio, talking to our guest Lika, and all about her amazing business is NOMOS Law Firm. Go to the website nomosgeorgia.com. And for our listeners, kind of talk about where you live. I want to get a nice perspective. What was it like where you are? Talk about the food, the culture, anything that comes to mind.
Okay, first, that is like really close to why I am promoting my country so much, is that it has so many potential that people actually see. So once I discovered that people see this potential, because when you live somewhere, like let's say you live in Paris and see the Eiffel Tower every day, you don't actually, you're not wowed with that image. But when you actually visit, you kind of discover it as a visitor that, wow, this is amazing. So it's the same. What happened to me was that I was living my whole life in here, well, except the traveling that I did. But I discovered that Georgia has so many potential with business, with investment, because it has such a good location. It is right in the middle of Europe and Asia. It is really easy to do business in here, with low taxes, with rich history, with culture. It is one of the oldest countries in the world to exist. We have our own unique language. We have our own unique alphabet. And the people are really welcoming, really hospitable. Food is great. Everybody says that. It's not only me, but everybody who visits, their first reaction is like, food is the best. So to take that aside, I think that it is, as I mentioned, it is really easy to do business here. And it was ranked 7th in ease of doing business by the World Bank in 2019. So I think also really low taxes is the main grounds and reasons why people are relocating in here. We have a lot of new incomings because of that. We have 15% of corporate taxes, 5% of dividends and royalties. 20% of personal income tax. We have 18% of VAT. So I think it is a really low country, really low tax country. And also with that, some people expect that life isn't sophisticated here, but it's on the contrary, it is. It is really sophisticated. It is really Western. It is trying to be Western. So our path is like we are trying to get in EU. We have visa liberalization happened in 2017. So I think everything going really well for us, and the developing stage is really thriving at this moment.
And for those who live in the United States, what's your perspective on the potential opportunity with real estate and maybe like construction businesses, working internationally, working with clients in Georgia?
I'm going to come from the perspective which was given by the clients from US, which I had in the past years. The main reason why they're moving and the main reason why they're relocating their businesses is definitely the taxes, definitely the system, definitely the culture. And also, I want to mention that once they relocate here, they're happy with it. So, one thing is to make a decision on something, and the other thing is what you get in the results. So, everybody's happy with relocation, and definitely tax optimization is the key point. That is why they're searching for the better options for their businesses and for themselves. And for the real estate, I think it is now the best. We are in our best market scenario now because we have a lot of foreigners coming in. We have a lot of interest in real estate. So basically, people are buying real estate and then renting it out. Airbnb works really great, and also long-term rentals work also as great. And people are forming their real estate agencies and so forth. So there are lots of business opportunities, not only with real estate, but I think having that mindset that when you're working, a lot of people are not happy with the government taking the half and more of your income. So I think it is the main reason why they're looking for alternative homes. And I think Georgia is in the top list. And US citizens tend to discover that a lot. So I have a lot of US clients who are trying to get alternative residencies, permanent residencies in here, and also do business and form a business in Tbilisi. So yeah, I think it is time. It is the era where a lot of people should look for alternative options with their living and with their business opportunities.
Is there sports? Is there music? What does that look like too for those who might be interested to learn more?
I'm not going to lie on your podcast. Our music industry or sports industry isn't thriving at all. So it's not in our top list of business opportunities. But I think, but I think if you look in a different perspective, if there is no one, like if you are going to be the one that does that I think you have probably zero competition if you look at it that way. But if you are looking for somewhere to relocate, like people who are in the music industry, they're probably looking for the countries like US, looking for the countries like where that industry is kind of like on the top level. So I don't think Georgia is that type of country. So I don't think that sports and music industry is really going to work if you're looking for somewhere where it is already working industry. So I think if you're trying to just create a demand, then I think Georgia is a good idea.
Do y'all have a taste in any particular sport or music style that could be someone listening is like, you know what? I need to maybe reach out to some locals and see if we can build something.
Okay, definitely. I'm not going to count my own music taste, but definitely statistics say that with sports, it's rugby. I think we are the best at it, and also maybe basketball. And with music, I think techno more and hip hop also. I think these two international ones, of course, because local ones is like Georgian folk and music and so forth, which is like cultural and historical. But internationally, I think these two genres would be on the top list for Georgian listeners.
We're talking to our guest today on Army Focus Radio, Lika, and go to her website, NOMOS. It's nomosgeorgia.com. And we're talking about her business, NOMOS Law Firm. And I like having guests like you on the show because we get to learn so much. Can you talk about, where you are and the people there? When you look at the industries locally, what will probably be like maybe the top two industries in your opinion that someone from the U.S. could study more and learn about more?
Definitely, statistically, it's real estate and hospitality, tourism. These two industries are on the top of the list. Not because lots of people are doing it, it's because there is a demand of these two markets. So there is a demand of real estate. There is a demand with hotels and tourism, because we have a lot of people are interested in coming in here, and because of the culture, because of the traditions and so forth. So I think these two are definitely the most profitable for businessmen.
And someone in the U.S. looking at Georgia and the potential there, do you do also consulting with business owners as far as like, hey, since I know a lot more than you do about, this area and this place, do you kind of offer services to kind of prepare them, kind of point them in the right direction if needed?
Definitely, it is our main practice area, which is doing business in Georgia, and also we advise our clients how to invest wisely. So I think the investment, whether it serves purpose to get the residency, whether it serves the purpose to get the citizenship and so forth, I think the main purpose of the investment is the profit. So we do all that. So we do assess the risks, and we advise our clients how to invest in any industry, how to create the companies wisely and properly. So it is our main focus, definitely.
And with that, you help with relocation as well, and also with corporate and business transactions. When someone is looking to expand their business to where you are, what does that transition typically involve? Maybe some golden rules to make it as smooth as possible.
It is really easy to do business here. That means that if you want to expand your company in our country, it means that it is going to happen really smoothly and really easily. Incorporation takes only 1 day. You can incorporate any type of company, whether it's a new company or a branch of the existing company in one day. And you can open the bank accounts in 5 to 10 days. With the branches and with expanding already existing companies, it takes more time because government tend to ask you more information about your company, more documentation, because it is not a new company, it is already existing company, but still really easy, still less bureaucratic. So I think it is worth trying, and it is worth considering the option to expand in here.
And with things like work residence permit, kind of touch on that with our audience. How does that process look like for someone who hasn't done it before?
Yeah, so basically, I'm going to talk about the practice with U.S. U.S. state citizens, which is there are three options to do it. One is through business, second is through investment, and the third is through property. So the easiest way is through property. You just buy the real estate, which is a minimum, which market price equals to 100,000 USD, and you're getting 1 year of residence permit. But what they say, like, we had people who got it, especially from US, because Georgia really loves US passports. So actually, some people got it for 5 years, even with their investment in real estate. The second one is investing more, which you get permanent residence permit for 5 years. It is a minimum investment of 300,000 USD. And after that, you're getting, but this last option, I think it's the most difficult and the less option that people choose, which is through business. You have to invest 17,000 USD for foreigner in the company, and you have to collect more documents that than other residencies require. So I think the best option is through real estate or any other investment. And then we are helping clients choose, and we're helping with the assessment of their individual cases. So if anybody is interested, they can contact us at nomosgeorgia.com, and we will be happy to make individual plan for any of our clients.
We're talking to Lika here on I Am Refocused Radio. You can go to our website, like you said, nomosgeorgia.com. And one thing before we let you go is another opportunity is IT companies. Can you kind of touch on the benefits and value that IT companies in the U.S. could potentially have working in Georgia?
Most definitely. IT companies have many benefits. IT companies, so the companies whose activities are only IT, they can take virtual zone company status, and the taxes are really, really low. This is 0% of corporate income tax, and also 0% of VAT. And they only pay 5% of dividends. So basically, the taxes are as low as it gets. And but there are some strict regulations, because some people are incorporating this type of company, getting the statuses of these virtual zone companies, but they are not doing IT. So the strict rule is that you have only to do this IT services and software development and anything connected to IT, but no other activities. And also, I think we have a lot of people who are doing remote work in here. They're coming into Tbilisi, relocating, and they are still employed by other companies abroad. So they are opening individual entrepreneurships. So they are becoming individual entrepreneurs, which means that their taxes can come down to 1% instead of 20% of personal income tax. So I think it's also a good option for IT service employees who tend to not have their own companies, but tend to be employed by some other IT service companies, and maybe they can open personal bank accounts here, they can open individual entrepreneurships here and pay less taxes.
One thing I did mention, but I feel like it'd be very interesting because of the real estate demand in Georgia is, what about the film industry? I mean, has there been any kind of filming projects where you are where it's been in a possible way of maybe like collaboration with more people, like people from the United States, maybe considering working?
I think there's a lot of talent in here. There is a lot of talent with acting, with filming, and there are some people who actually know producing, who actually know how to film, directing. So I think filming industry can be a subject of the discussion because there are a lot of projects which they can look up and which can be a subject of collaboration. So I'm not saying that it is a very, very profitable business in here, but I think there is a talent instead. So I think searching for this talent, searching for this project is worth trying. So I would definitely recommend it.
Because I'm sure you guys have media and news and all that, but
Definitely.
the entertainment side, TV and movies and indie.
Well, it is also because it is a really small country and the economy isn't thriving as it is in US, because US is very, very different. It has a really different perspective and opportunities.
I see some opportunities, man. Once again, we're talking to Lika. You can go to her website, is nomosgeorgia.com, and all about her business, NOMOS Law Firm. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for taking time talking to I'm Refocused Radio. But before we let you go, what's a great call to action for our listeners to study more about your business and potentially do business with you?
They can contact us through our website or through our email, info@nomosgeorgia.com.